restoration through indemnity is only known by heaven. It was a pain-ridden path which no one had successfully walked before. However, this may have been the reason for the successful marriage. The crane finally flaps its wings and begins soaring through the sky after 1,000 years of waiting. The days spent for the world rather than the family. Mother not only supported her husband by participating in important events and tours abroad, but also had to take care of her 14 children tirelessly.
In January of 1984, Mother was preparing for anti-communism lectures during her short stay in Korea after supporting Father at his world witnessing. Their second son was called by heaven. He died in a car accident trying to save his friends. It was a tragic death. The son who has gone the path of an offering. Father, after winning over the realm of death through love, proclaimed this day as the day of victory of love and transformed their hearts filled with sadness into true love. Her sadness of losing a son could not be compared to that of anyone else. However, faithfully obeying her husband's wish, Mother had to hide her tears inside. 5 children were sacrificed to heaven. Though it was the will of heaven, these times to Mother were the times of great suffering, having to endure unbearable pains. Father's heart was full of pain, just as much as Mother's. However, he overcame it with the power of his will, saying, even while being swayed by a storm, the root must keep growing in order to secure its position. During Father's relentless march forward, Mother had to endure great pains of the heart, worse than any physical pain. Even though she had to bury her dead children in her heart, she had to appear as an unshaken leader toward the members of the Unification Church. There was not a day of comfort. She had to endure the pains of her children being persecuted at their schools and in the society in general. Though she endured with her love of God and the absolute faith toward Father, the path of providence came with much pain.
한번 제왕절개 수술을 하게 되면은 자연분만은 어려워요. 제왕절개 수술을 해서 영진이가 태어났어요. 지금 나눈 아이들을 위해서 엄마가 건강해야 될 텐데 왜 이렇게 자기 생각을 안 하느냐고 이런 말을 했어요. 그런데 내 입장에서는 그만둔다고 말할 수가 없어요. 하늘이 나에게 바라는 것이 몇입니까 하고 기도했어요.
Together with Father, using every second and minute for the will of heaven, leaving the mod life to save the world. True mother. True mother. A woman is weak, but a mother is strong. The path that must be trodden as the mother of humanity. Mrs. Moon walks the path to save the world with Reverend Moon, accepting the will of God to use her for great purposes. She endured with nothing but prayer. Reverend Moon expresses sincere gratitude to the woman who has walked the path of suffering as the female leader of the humanity. Reverend Moon explains that Mrs. Moon, who is his wife and his eternal partner,
우리 어머니가 못나서 살았어. 아니 서양 어디 독일 가지고 미인이라고 하고 말이야, 프랑스 가지고 미인이라고 하고 말이지, 영국 가지고 미인이라고 하고 말이야, 아프리카는 더더욱이나 뭐 미국 가서 전부 다 미인이라고 가지고 나보고 언제나 해피스트 맨이라고 해피스트 허스밴드라고 그러더라고. 그 어머니 잘났어 못 났어? 얼굴이 잘났나? 얼굴도 잘났지만 마음이 좀 잘났어.
In mid-1960s, Reverend Moon and Mrs. Moon visited Japan, America, and European nations to create an international foundation. and at the same time strengthen the foundation of the rural enlightenment movement. Then they went to America in 1972. It was to transcend national barriers and advance the will of God into the international level. Young intellectuals of the nation who were thirsting for truth came to Reverend Moon. America's ember of faith was rekindled through this one religious leader from Korea, and the unification movement spread like a wildfire. As the Unification Church from Korea gained an unprecedented momentum, opposition started to persecute. The ones who had to suffer racial and religious discrimination were not only the church members, but the children of parents as well. As threats of assassination always gloomed over her husband, Mrs. Moon had to live in fear. America was joining its forces together to stop the spread of the Unification Church. Even for some important figures, persecution continued as well. Then, on July 20th, 1984, True Father was imprisoned in Danbury Prison.
좀 힘들지 않아요?
저리인가?
Father's absence seemed to have left a big hole in the movement. Mrs. Moon's grief and agony was greater than anyone's.
내가 여러분들에게 부탁하고 싶은 것이 있다면 참부모와 동시대에 같이 호흡하면서 같이 일한 여러분들의 깊이 반성하고 회개한 자리에서 순수한 마음으로 부모님 앞에 보여드려야 할 실적을 가져야 된다고 생각합니다.
Mrs. Moon rolled up her own sleeves in the face of danger. Unshaken, she visited her husband every day and led the campaign to take Father out of the prison. She took up this task of the spiritual anchor of the unification movement with a solemn heart. The children helped her as well.
I cried, and I cried. But my father told me not to weep for him, and not to be angry at the government that jailed him. He told me, as he has told his millions of followers throughout the world, to turn our anger and grief into powerful action to make this country truly free again.
This is understood to have made on the internal level the tradition of cooperation between mother and children, as the 40-year wilderness course was reaching its end. People of conscience in America rose up, and new supporters of the movement soon could also be found in Korea and Japan. The alliance between America and us is made by blood. I think that going against their own constitution to incarcerate Reverend Moon, who has come from such an ally nation, for 1.5 years as an insult to Korean people as a whole. During the time of imprisonment, Mrs. Moon received honorary doctoral degrees from 4 universities. It was proof to the fact that in heaven's providence, you receive blessings after you get hit. On August 20th, 1985, Reverend Moon was released after 13 months of incarceration. He was released 5 months early due to the movement to free him waged by America's leaders from fields of religion, politics, and the media. The victory of complete freedom, Reverend Moon was moved by the willpower of his wife more than anything. It was a great work of heavens where God's providential usage of her as the true mother of humanity has taken one more step forward.